Hey, Geekscapists, welcome to a brand new Geekscape podcast. My name is Jonathan London, your host. If this is your first Geekscape, well, you need to strap yourselves in for some pop culture talk. That would be movies, video games, comic books, TV, all the goodness you can fit in your noggin in about an hour. I've got two friends with me here this episode, Zach Shaffer from our show $2 Late Fee on the Geekscape Network, and Josh Jackson from our video game show. They changed the name from Geekscape Games, and now it is Dynamic Resolution. It's an inside joke for that gamer crowd. So inside that the head of the Geekscape Network doesn't really know the name of the show sometimes. That used to be Geekscape Games. Now it's Dynamic Resolution. But it's here on the network, and Josh is with us to talk about everything that we're looking forward to in 2026. We did make it to 2026. Some of you who might be eagle-eyed YouTube viewers might be like, hey, this Geekscape 739. Didn't you do a Geekscape 739? Well, I tried. And if you're on YouTube and you like relics and things like that and little curiosities, there is still a version of Geekscape 739 that I attempted to do 2-3 weeks ago with my good friend J.M. Brandt from Slow Feet Comics. He has a brand new Kickstarter going for his anthology book, Horror Not Hate. And Horror Not Hate is great. It is an anthology raising money for great cause. You can find out tons and tons about it at bit.ly/horror not hate. A lot of our friends in the comic book field are involved. It is horror stories, short stories, and you got to go and check it out. But it all goes to a good cause. It was a tough conversation. Like, he is not tough. He's a great guest, but the internet on his end was really, if you want to see Jonathan flustered, go onto the YouTube channel, listeners and viewers, and check out our the kind of like the version of Geekscape 739 with J.M. Brandt that is there, and just watch like when he drops out and I'm left with like people in the chat, or he drops out or is like frozen and I can only hear his voice but I can't see him at all, or I don't know if he's there, or his audio drops out. It is a really rough episode, so it's not released on the podcast feed. I do want to get JM back on the podcast to talk about Horror Not Hate and comics and all that, but I also need to guarantee that you guys get an episode. So I'm here with Zach and Josh, and we are giving Geekscape 739 a brand new attempt, and we're going to be talking all about what we're looking forward to in 2026. We're going to be talking about what everybody's talking about. No, not politics. We're talking about Stranger Things season 5 and the big finale to Stranger Things. Also, Jack Black and Paul Rudd were in Anaconda. Did you guys see the Anaconda? We'll try not to spoil anything for you guys. And there's a few more things that we're going to wrap up 2025 on and look forward to 2026. And we're basically going to have a nice geek chat. So be here for it. I'm going to run the credits right now. And when we get back, we got Zach Shaffer and Josh Jackson, and looking forward to 2026. Hey, Geekscapists, welcome to a midday. We're recording this if you're watching live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. I think we're on LinkedIn. Yeah. We are recording midday. So if you're in the chat and all that, throw your comments in there. Come join us. It's a lot of fun. We're going to be talking again about Stranger Things and Anaconda. We're going to try not to spoil too much on that stuff. Stranger Things definitely still within the window of spoilers, so we will be sensitive to those of you finishing up the Stranger Things season 5. But my good friends Zach and Josh, again from $2 Late Fee and Dynamic Resolution, respectively, are here to talk some geek stuff with me, and that's what they're here for. That's why they're on the network. That's why you should check out their shows. Zach, Josh, Welcome to Geekscape, the mothership show, and let's talk some geek stuff. And let's invite our good friend Chenito Hernandez from YouTube. He says hi. Yo, Chenito.
Hello.
¿Qué pasa, hermano? All right, we're here on the Geekscape. Where do you guys want to start with this thing? We can start anywhere you want. I mean, Stranger Things is the big topic. People are really all about the Stranger Things, but I don't necessarily want to run off anybody who hasn't finished the series. But just blankly, I think I'll throw up an image right here so that people watching will know that we're going to talk a little bit of Stranger Things. But just blanketly looking at the season 5 in Hall, I would say it's a not strong season, very strong finale. The final episode, the 2-hour, like, big giant, and we're talking kaiju giant finale. I thought it was awesome. The season itself, I thought, there was a lot of like walking and talking, a lot of moments that I was like scratching my head at and being like, all right, let's get along with it. Let's do this. That being said, those last 2 hours, I think, really like gave you that Stranger Things feeling that you had from the first season in that first season. And it allowed you to kind of remember that the Duffer Brothers really had a plan, and this is what it was from the beginning. And I think they stuck the landing, and I did not leave the Stranger Things experience with a bad taste in my mouth. If anything, I was like, yeah, these guys are awesome, and I want to see what they do next. And let's throw them the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Ooh.
Because they're doing it, and it's awesome. And this stuff feels like a really good Nightmare on Elm Street at times. It feels like a lot of great Spielberg. It feels like a lot of great, all that stuff that we grew up with. And this, again, the finale stuck the landing. And in doing so, I think that season 5 was stronger for it. What did you guys think of the final season?
Josh?
Yeah, no, I agree with what you were saying. Like, there were definitely parts throughout the season where I kind of felt like, this is like, there were times where I felt like they were dragging things out a bit. There was times where I felt like they were introducing way too many new like characters when we were approaching like a finale. But by the time we got to the actual 2-hour finale, I was like I thought they knocked it out of the park. I thought it was really satisfying. It tied up most of the loose ends that I could remember, at least, and everything that they introduced in this season kind of came together in a really satisfying way that I walked away really kind of like happy and like a little emotional about, because it's like, and we've been with this cast and these characters for 9 years now. So it was really cool to see it come together the way it did, I think.
And seeing clips in the finale from that first season really just nails that we spent 10 years with these kids, and they are young in those clips.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you're right. In that last image, that last scene where it's sort of like a passing of the torch, and it kind of gives a chance for a new group to come in. I thought that, and it's a good group too, because we enjoyed these new characters, these young kids. But I thought that was really, really moving, and I think that's where who got teary-eyed. I did not get teary-eyed, but who got teary-eyed?
Oh, I ugly cried. I feel like I'm a little biased.
Yeah, I got a little teary.
Yeah. I mean, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, there's already a 10th anniversary episode planned, apparently, in the Duffer Brother universe. Because I went down a huge rabbit hole of like what's to come. They've got Stranger Things 85 coming out later this year.
Wait, what? What is that?
Oh, it's an animated series that they did. It takes place between seasons 2 and 3, and looks really good. Looks really fun. Apparently, there's already 2 seasons planned for that, and there's a whole myriad of spinoffs in the works, allegedly, which makes me feel really reassured because I love this franchise. I think this is like a true love letter to kids of the 80s, and people who haven't grown up in the 80s watch this and they go, if this is even close to what the 80s are like, I kind of want to live in that decade. And man, I ugly cried. I saw this movie. I saw the finale at the Century City Theater New Year's Day with a packed audience. maybe one of the best ways to see a finale of a show, because you're literally with everybody there for the same reason, same intentions. You know, it's one thing to go to a movie premiere night and be like, I don't know what I'm in for. Literally everybody in the audience knew what they were in for. We're hoping for the same outcomes. And we were all crying, laughing, cheering together. It was amazing. It was like going to Hall H, but not having to wait in a 12-hour line.
Right. And where would you say, Zach? I mean, and we'll be careful with the spoilers, but we're still in spoiler territory. Like, for you listeners, viewers, where do you think it stuck the landing, and where are some places where you're like, wait, what about blank? I did want to see Pizza Delivery Guy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's characters that were left out, you know, that you wished would have seen a return, or at least a remembrance, maybe like some cut scenes they could throw in of certain characters that lost their lives in previous seasons. That would have been cool.
Sean Astin got a quick shot there. You guys remember him from season 3? Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think for me, without giving anything away, in the first 15 minutes of the episode, I was jaw dropped at one particular scene where the scene goes black. And then when it comes back on, you realize what happens to a particular character. And then the kind of combination of wrapping up everybody's endgame story with Vecna, you know, and the outcome of that. I thought that was very satisfying. Look, my feeling on the ending, I like some fan theories out there. Very cool. I subscribe to a few of those, but you know, I have no problem with the finale. I really don't overall.
Some of my favorite parts of the finale, and I don't think this is a spoiler because, you know, there's some combat in it. I like the idea that Nancy becomes Rambo and just starts marking people at a crazy rate. Holy shit. She's just murdering. She's just murdering people. She's John Rambo. She's John Wick. She's just straight up like getting a body count like crazy. She's machine gunning the hell out of, like, these are US soldiers.
I know, literally.
Don't follow illegal orders. We've told you that. Don't follow illegal orders because you'll end up you know, and you'll end up in some weird, you know, Hawkins lab, and you'll get murked by Nancy Wheeler, who's a, you know, little innocent Nancy Wheeler, just straight up turning people into meat. That was a little alarming. I wanted to know more about the jizz room. Like,
you mean the ectoplasmic Ghostbuster 2 room? Yeah.
What is this? I mean, because in Geekscape, it happens halfway through the season, but the really touching moment between Nancy and Jonathan in the jizz room, like, sometimes there were conversations and scenes in the season where I was like, not the place.
Yeah,
not the place. You're in the jizz room, and you guys just saw a bunch of soldiers who didn't survive the jizz room in the jizz hallway, and you guys may want to try and figure out a way to get out of here instead of having this 15-minute heart-to-heart with the you know, you're going to be drowning in the jizz room if you guys don't read this and try and figure a way to climb out of here.
I don't disagree with you. I think there were certain episodes that were very heavy-handed as far as dialogue was concerned that could have been wrapped up a lot quicker than they were. That particular scene, though, I liked where they were potentially going, but they didn't necessarily. That's maybe where they didn't, you know, hit the landing. But
there was some walking at the end where it's like time to go and kick some ass, where people are just like walking and telling each other their feelings. And I was like, no, guys, we should be putting at least a light jog into this whole saving the planet and the world and all of existence thing. But at the end, they were running and gunning and jumping into, like, and it was crazy. I had missed in the last 2-3 seasons the scope that they did with the ending in the mall, where there's a freaking giant, the mind flayer.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, that thing, that's the scope I want. I like Vecna and it's cool, but it's a mental problem, you know, like that guy is getting in your mind, and that's where the Freddy Krueger stuff comes in. But I miss just the scale of, holy shit, this thing's bigger than the mall.
Oh yeah.
And like, how are they going to do this? And no spoilers, but the fact that we had both of those endings here, I thought it was awesome, super cool and fun. And so it earned the Lord of the Rings, or the the Lord of the Rings ending, multiple ending thing. I thought it
Yeah.
super earned it. Derek Cranevelt said, "I wish that battle was more than 30 seconds long." Nope, Nancy Wheeler's too busy murdering people. She's gonna put bodies in the ground, Derek.
She does look like Ripley from Aliens, though, too.
Yeah, she was killing it.
Yeah.
Derek says he enjoyed the new kids, but also wish there wasn't so much time spent with them over 8 episodes. I'm going to disagree there because I love the kind of chubby kid, and I love
Derek.
I love Derek, and I love Derek Cranevelt, and I love the new Wheeler. I love the new. Not, I mean, they recast, but
yeah,
I love Holly.
Yeah, I thought she was good.
She was awesome. She really,
I will say,
really talented.
My son now loves to say "suck my fat one," and he has no context. He has no idea what that means, but he likes to say "suck my fat one."
Zach, he's just telling you that. He's just telling you. I'm pretty. How old is he?
He's 11.
He's lying to you, Zachary. He knows what "suck a fat one" is. Does he go? Is he homeschooled, Zach?
He actually wears a bubble to school every day.
Yeah. Does he know what 6'7" is?
He does know what 6'7" is.
He knows what "suck a fat one" is. I have really bad news for you, Zach. He knows
boy!
When did you learn what "suck a fat one" was?
No, we just saw the plague sorry, I was just gonna say we just saw the plague yesterday, and all those kids were like 11 or 12, and the way they were talking, yeah, he definitely knows what that means.
Yeah,
the plague is that British movie, or the one with the kid? It's like
this.
Yeah, Joel Edgerton's in it.
Yeah, it's like it's like a water polo team, or like this water polo camp. Yeah, and all the kids are like 11 or 12-year-old boys for the most part. And yeah, that movie, like they're just constantly swearing the whole time. So I'm like, yeah, like I definitely know what a "suck a fat one" means at 11 or 12.
Wow, I want to see this movie. Is it?
I didn't know what it was about. I thought it was about bullying, or then I thought it was about a plague, actually, or a kid that had special powers. Like I didn't know what it was about from the trailer. I just knew that I liked everybody involved. What is it actually about?
Yeah, it's more on the bullying side, but it's about this group of kids at like a water polo camp, and one of the kids is getting bullied, so one of the other kids kind of goes out of his way to befriend that kid, and so as a result, all the other kids start bullying him too. But the way that it's shot and the way the story is told is more of like a psychological thriller as opposed to like a coming of age story that like it sounds like on the surface. So it was pretty interesting. I liked it a lot.
Well, Geekscapists, I'm going to actually really tell you that I'm going to put some spoilers on this next bit that I'm going to tell you guys for Stranger Things Season 5. If you haven't watched Stranger Things Season 5, give me like 5 minutes of the episode to talk about something, because this is something that I have insomnia. So this is something I picked up on last night. And I was like, wait, hold up. You guys know about this whole conformity gate thing?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
If you, yeah, well, you just finished the season 20 minutes ago, but I think we got to talk some conformity gate because, yeah, this is wild. How would you describe conformity gate? It means that, like, first off, the big thing about conformity gate is Vecna won, and there are hints in the finale, in the final moments after Vecna is vanquished, as things are wrapping up and you got the Return of the King endings, that Vecna is still in control of these kids.
Right.
Like at the graduation, they're wearing orange instead of the team color of green. The shirt that when he rips off his graduation gown, the Hellfire shirt is gray. Gray is the color of confusion. Right. And there are things like the timer on one of the explosive devices. It is gray there at the end. We have the kids sitting in the graduation holding their hands. Everybody has a new haircut that looks a lot like Henry's. There are things that are having people online say, oh, Vecna won. They're still in his head. They're in his dreams. And there's a new season where they did something with the numbering, and they're like, oh, January 7th, the actual final episode is going to air. And that's where I'm like, oh, hold up, wait, what? All this marketing was for like a bunch of 8 episodes. They were very well marketed, and even though they were long, we all sat through them. You're telling me there's going to be one more episode on the 7th where I guess Vecna Henry won, and all these clues were there in the ending for you. Oh, and like when they put their character binders on the wall,
Yeah.
it like spells out stuff. And like it just like and in like the What's It game was over their shoulders in
Right.
some of the shots there at the end. Like Derek has it over his shoulder when they're sitting at the graduation. There's somebody with glasses on behind their shoulders. The duffer, somebody's wearing a duffer shirt and they're filming. I think is not about this, but the whole conformity gate thing was something I did a little deep dive on last night, and I was like, "Yo, this is wild." Ophelia's not a fan of it, as you can hear
Apparently.
in the background. Sorry about that.
She's just like ended already.
Yeah.
Well,
she's like, just end the season. Let's
for
get on to the
Christmas,
animation.
Bodhi got the Stranger Things flashlight for Christmas, and the cool thing about the flashlight, it's a Rockin' Robin Squawk flashlight that you get at Target or something, and there's a blue light function on it. And when you put the blue light on the box, it highlights Vecna. It highlights secret messages, and one of the messages says Vecna lives on the box.
Yeah, and characters that Vecna never interacted with,
right?
Like Robin's girlfriend, is not in the ending,
right?
So the characters Vecna never knew about, they're not in that ending. It's all, this is what the conformity gate thing is, Geekscapists. And if you agree, throw it in the comments, send an email, jonathan@geekscape.net, find us on socials and be like, I think conformity gate is legit. I obviously will know if there's a new episode or not by the end of the week.
I think it's the making of episode that's dropping, but I would love an extra. Wouldn't you? How do you guys feel about that? Would you like one more episode?
If it gave us that level of a secret mind F and was like, yo, we kept this a secret, we're dropping this, it would be huge. How could they pull it off negatively after such a satisfying finale? Go for it. You've earned our trust. I didn't know about the animated show. I'm now willing to watch the animated show, and I usually don't watch animated spin-off versions, and that's just one I'll throw. The Duffer Brothers have earned my goodwill, and their next show sounds awesome about the Albuquerque retirement home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like Cocoon level, like action. It's a Cocoon cast, Gina Davis and Bill Pullman, and it's like, I think it might be aliens, but it's a retirement home community dealing with that stuff. So I'm in.
Yeah, and for me, I feel like the ending was so satisfying that if they did release another episode, it would have to be something really, really good, because I wouldn't want them to kind of like retroactively like hurt the ending that I thought was really, really well done.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So what else we got? We got this
suck
new. You suck my fat one. All right. It wasn't all scares and Care Bears like they do in the Stranger Things with the.
Can I point out one more thing?
Yeah,
I just have to say one more thing. In the 80s, I did not know one person that framed their movie posters on the wall. I did not, and I saw a lot of movie posters framed on the walls in the show. And I'm like, no one did that in the 80s. It was either tape or push pins.
The art department was like, I'm not going to let you destroy my poster. I'll let you borrow it for the shoot. You can't.
And last thing, apparently the Dark Crystal poster that is featured in season 1, the Dark Crystal poster has a castle in the background that literally looks like that's Vecna's hideout lair.
That's what I called it every time I saw it on screen.
Really?
It looks like the Skeksis lair from Dark Crystal.
So cool. What a great deep cut.
Oh no, it's blatant. It is blatant, my friend.
Blatant?
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Dark Crystal. Anybody who reads Hero of the Prophecy knows I'm a huge fan of Dark Crystal, because we're going to go very Dark Crystal towards the end of that. Issue 2, if you ordered issue 2 and you've read it and you ordered a digital copy, it's in your inbox. If you read it, you're like, oh, there's a scene that is basically like the bad guy being magically horrible to somebody in the same way that they were to the podlings in Dark Crystal. Like there's definitely Dark Crystal influences, and so when I saw Vecna's lair, Ophelia does not like Dark Crystal, it's too dark, but when I saw Vecna's lair, I was like, yeah, that's got to be Dark Crystal. To line things up, we went to see Anaconda, the Jack Black and Paul Rudd remake. Well, what do you call this, guys? It's not a remake of Anaconda, but
Fever Dream.
First off, What is it? Fever Dream? Did you guys enjoy it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I was kind of rolling my eyes for a while, and then there was that one scene on the boat with Paul Rudd and the snake, and after that, I think the movie just took off and kind of never stopped,
Yes,
and I loved it from
agreed.
that point on.
Yeah. The one thing I would say about this movie is it's definitely the movie. I mean, the second I saw that they were doing this and that it was meta, I immediately just sent the trailer to Paul because
Yeah.
my brother and I in 1997 went to see this movie together, and it was one of the best experiences of the year. The John Voight stuff where he's like, to catch an anaconda you need bait, and he shoots a monkey out of the tree, and it's just like, and then like at the end with Ice Cube where he's like, come on bitch, like we quote that original Anaconda like crazy. So to think that there was a meta version of the movie from two of our favorite comic actors, that's kind of like my brother and I in our love for Anaconda going to remake Anaconda and ending up in a version of Anaconda, and that they made this movie. Like, how did they get this out of my head?
Right.
Because my brother and I loved this. We still quote the movie every day, or every time we talk. We always say to catch an anaconda you need bait. But we've been quoting this movie for almost 30 years. And now this movie comes out about two best friends, and they're doing this. I had to see it with them. We went to see it together. We were howling. Heidi took us with her free tickets.
Oh,
She
nice.
has free tickets. And
So
we
free tickets.
loved this freaking movie. We were howling the entire time. And it's got fun surprises.
Yeah.
Ione
Skye is in it. People
Skye.
People forgot about her. Say anything?
Dude, I kept telling Heidi, I was like, hey, that's Ione Skye from Say Anything right there as Jack Black's wife. I loved it. And some of the stuff is predictable because it's supposed to be formulaic. It's making fun of the formulaic nature of that first Anaconda. So I was all in. And there's still enough in there to have you howling. This is the original Anaconda meets Tropic Thunder.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it for sure.
And it's a fun ride. And I think that no offense to Jack Black, his management team, his career team, love it very much, but I miss the Jack Black that was doing like Nacho Libre and stuff a little bit more R-rated. I know that Ophelia does too, but the Minecraft and the Jumanji stuff, like, I'll watch that stuff when Ophelia gets older. Probably not going to go see it in a movie theater. Anaconda is the Jack Black I want to see in the movie theater, right? And Paul Rudd can obviously do no wrong. So loved the new Anaconda. Final thoughts on the...
I was in the theater with Bodhi and Kristen, my wife, and
do you see movies with anybody else?
No, I see him with your brother occasionally.
Yeah.
We saw Deathstalker in the theater, which was amazing.
Speaking of remakes,
that was great. It was a great remake.
Thanks for the invite, pal.
You're welcome. I did invite you, and you're like, "There's no way I'm going to come to the Santa Monica on a Tuesday." But at the ending of the film, when they play Sir Mix-a-Lot's "Baby Got Back," a woman stood up in the audience and started twerking. A 50-year-old woman, blonde woman, and I looked at her whole family came in with her, and I leaned next to the young girl next to me who was filming it, and I go, "Is that your mom?" She goes, "No, it's my aunt." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." She's like, "It's okay."
Whoa!
But that level of enjoyment, I thought, you know what? That's what I haven't seen a movie. Honestly, since the Minecraft movie, where people got up and cheered like that. So it was a lot of fun to be with that kind of audience. And if you're gonna re-envision a bad movie or a movie, do one that's bad. This is perfect. Do more of this. Anaconda's not bad. It's so enjoyable. But you know what I mean? Like don't remake things that already have a good standing. Remake things that have a cult standing, and this is one of them. And I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, let's see if they do Anaconda Blood Orchid. The sequel to the original Anaconda. Derek's in the chat, and he says, if I've never seen Anaconda, is it still worth it / funny? I think it's easy enough to see Anaconda, Derek, and just push yourself through Anaconda and then see this.
Yes.
I think honestly not, yes, you're going to enjoy this regardless if you just watch it, because these guys are hilarious and it's really great. And Steve Zahn's awesome.
He's so good.
Everybody in this is great. The Brazilian actor was awesome, but
the
but-
female actress.
the female actress and the guy who plays the boat or plays the Anaconda wrangler.
Yeah.
But
right.
but
Yeah, no, that guy was hilarious.
it's
Yeah.
easy enough to go see it and to watch the original Anaconda and then jump out at this. Derek, please do. And
Yeah.
Derek, if you're not
But
working,
even
on
if I would say though, even if you don't, sorry, I was just gonna say, even if you don't have time to watch the first Anaconda, I think it stands alone in and of itself enough to where you don't necessarily need to. But there's a couple gags that won't mean as much if you didn't see the original first.
Yeah.
Josh, Derek is in a Geekscape chat room on a work day. He has time.
But yeah,
He
I
should
mean, both movies are.
You should watch the original Anaconda right after this, Derek.
We're gonna
No,
watch
for
it
sure.
tonight.
I mean, both movies are so much fun, and it's
Yeah.
like you were talking about how it brought people, like, made people so happy to the point where someone's twerking in the audience. Like that's a big gap for. I think it was either the same day or the day prior we saw a song sung Blue,
Oh gosh.
and people are fighting in the crowd in the audience. So I was like, between
Why?
the two, like Anaconda's the better. I think some lady had her kid playing on a phone or something.
Oh no.
So someone told her to turn it off like 4 times, and on the 4th time he got up and started screaming at her, and then everyone kind of got involved and started trying to calm each other down, and then ushers had to run in. And I was like, man, at the Neil Diamond impersonator movie, really?
Yeah. I'm Neil Diamond, damn it.
We've documented on this show and go back and do it would be the Love and Thunder episode, and then before that the Multiverse of Madness episode, and we've documented Jonathan almost fighting somebody on the cell phone. But they were filming Marvel spoilers on the night that the thing came out to put out on their stupid Instagrams or whatever, or spot, like whatever it is. So I was like, dude, put your phone away. And then after like the 3rd, 4th time, and then when you talk back to my wife, like, yeah, I'm gonna threaten to not go and deal with management. Just deal with it myself.
She must have been a big Neil Diamond fan to bring her, son along to it.
We saw Hugh Jackman at the Hollywood Bowl, and like it was just like all show tunes and stuff. It was fine. It's fun. But when he did Sweet Caroline, I was like, well, I do want to. I love Neil Diamond. I do want to see this, but this is a karaoke song now, guys.
Yeah, I know.
I don't.
I mean,
And he did New York, in LA at the Hollywood Bowl. I was like, yo, we could have taken that one off the playlist, Hugh.
Josh, did you like
I
the
Love
movie?
LA wasn't on there.
Yeah.
I actually did really like it. I thought it, like, I went in. I mean, we have Screen Unseen, and we're cheapskates, so we try to get as much value out of it as we can. So we see like 4 movies a week, regardless of what's out. And no, I like having like kind of zero interest in Neil Diamond. We walked away really liking that movie. The funny thing though is the fight broke out at probably the most pivotal scene of the movie. So I'm like looking back and forth between whether or not I need to run for the emergency exit and whether or not the next scene, like trying to find out how the next scene plays out. But
That's funny.
I thought it was good.
And one thing that we didn't talk about, Josh, and I don't think I talked about it on Geekscape, so let's talk about it here. Fire and Ash, the new Avatar movie.
Mm-hmm.
Who's seen this? I saw it.
I saw it. I just saw it on New Year's Day.
I got a free screening invite from our good friends at Nosotros, which is super nice. Thank you, Nosotros, for doing it. Love you guys.
Shout out to them. Yeah.
I got a nice VIP seat, and I sat down for the 7-hour Avatar Fire and Ash.
God.
And it was tight, bro. You saw it, right, Josh?
I saw it, yeah.
No, it's the first movie again, or it's the second movie again. It has a lot of the same beats as this first movie, or the second movie. Sorry,
they filmed them back to back, didn't they? 2 and 3.
I think they wrote them at the same time too, and they just moved a couple of things around because it has a lot of the same, like, giant set pieces as the second one. The second one has like a lot of new type of Avatar tribe, and then we got to learn about these people. They're aggressive. They have a new way of life. It's still very much the water people. That's where they hang their hats now. That's where Jake Scully and family hang their hats. But the problematic bad guys are still trying to do the same stuff, and there are about 15 times in this movie where someone grabs a kid or another character from behind and then puts a gun to their head and goes, "Come on out," or "Put your weapons down," or "I got the boy." You're not gonna want to do that. You know,
Oh my God.
Telling.
I'm not kidding. It was a lot of that.
Oh,
So, and yeah, I mean, I okay. So just a quick history. Like the first Avatar, like I'm one of those obnoxious people where I was like, I fucking hated. I hated the first Avatar. I'm like, it just felt like such a kind of like a nothing story with nothing new to say, but it was carried by the tech, which is essentially how they marketed it, to be fair. But I mean,
And I'm enjoying these movies
like,
for the tech. Like
yeah.
Fire and Ash, like if it's 2 hours, I would have been like, this movie's a banger. And it could have been 2 hours. We just cut out all but one instance of "Come on out."
Yeah, I mean, that was the worst part for me, because it's like I watched Way of Water like the day before we saw Avatar.
What
Fire and
are you
Ash,
doing?
because well, I
You and
mean,
Derek just doing this stuff on a weekday, just hanging out.
well, I mean, I had no interest to see Way of Water because I didn't like the first one.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
now that we have A-list, and I'm like, it's a $29 IMAX ticket that I'm essentially getting, that pays for the month alone, right? So I'm like, all right, I'll see Fire and Ash, but I want to know what's happening. And surprisingly, A Way of Water was the only one I didn't see in like a premium 3D IMAX screening, and I love that movie. I really, really liked the second one.
The second one's my favorite. Yes.
really?
Mhm.
Yeah, the second one's
Yeah.
my favorite. But I think I agree wholeheartedly with everything that Josh is saying. The first one underwhelmed me on the story. Tech was cool, but you got to have a good story. The second one, I thought moved a lot more. I thought there was some interesting stuff. It's still too long. This third one has a lot of redundant beats and character stuff with the second movie. The most interesting parts of this film are Sigourney Weaver's character and this kid Spider, because Sigourney Weaver's character's avatar is a younger Na'vi, and the spider character can't really breathe on this planet, but he's now part of this family. And he starts to develop different stuff, and they start to have like a romantic relationship, even though Sigourney Weaver's actual human character is much older. You know, when she died in the second movie, she was placed into a young Na'vi, and now it's like, I think that stuff's interesting.
Yeah.
The repeat action beats that we know Cameron does so well, those giant set pieces, we know he does well, and the tech is still badass in this. It's still a beautiful movie to watch. They should, but the new stuff is what should be focused on, and some of the stuff that we already explored in the first movie. Let's just cut. That'll get the movie down to 2 hours, and then they're absolute masterpieces beyond the tech level.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, and maybe this is also because I literally just finished watching the second one, but the repeated beats felt so much more tedious because I had just watched Way of Water like right before. Oof. And it's like you're not kidding. Like in Fire and Ash alone, I think a character gets kidnapped and they plan a large scale like rescue mission 3 different times across this movie. God. And it's like, okay. And when you combine and like the way that I describe this movie, it feels, if this makes sense, it feels less like Avatar 3 and more like Avatar 2 Part 2. Like, you know how they split Harry Potter into Deathly Hallows 1 and 2 and all that kind of stuff. That's what this felt like. It didn't feel like its own movie. It felt like the rest of Way of Water. And once you combine the two movies and you're getting into like 7 hours of it basically kind of doing the same thing, it's like, and like come to find out too, I researched the movie a little bit afterwards, and yeah, like you guys were saying in the beginning, apparently 2 and 3 were like shot close together, and they shot the beginning of the fourth one at the same time because they didn't want the kids to age up too much.
Okay.
And it really shows, because it just feels like, yeah, it's like, so from that, it makes sense from a practical standpoint, but from the storytelling standpoint, like it really, really feels that way. And like the last thing that bothered me about it is that as much as the fire Na'vi, I feel like are kind of put front and center as like the big draw of this movie, I feel like they took a back seat pretty early to the same villains that have been the villains in 1 and 2, like the military characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like really disappointing to me, because it's like after the first hour or so, it seemed like the focus was back on, I'm sorry, I don't remember any of the characters' names in these movies.
Right.
But the main like general guy, like he's been the main villain for 3 movies now. And then when they had these cool characters and they set up this cool dynamic, only for everything to kind of reset to the status quo of 1 and 2, like an hour in, I was just kind of like, okay. Like
the
it just
stuff
makes it feel so much more repetitive.
and the parts that I enjoyed were where Spider's in danger and Spider is his biological son or his clone or something, and then you're like, and he's actually invested in doing the right thing, but then of course he goes back to being a heel, and so there are parts where I'm like, okay, cool, you're giving them some depth, and let's keep this going, but it falls back to the norm, and I think how many more are there? Like 2?
I
They're
think
making
so. 2 or
5 of
3
these,
more.
and the fourth one's gonna start. The fourth one's gonna start with "Come on out." I got the boy.
Although James Cameron said something like, if 4 doesn't make enough, he's going to do a press conference announcing that they're canceling the movies, and he's just going to read the rest of the story during this press conference.
I'm in.
So,
I'm in. I'm in. Zach's a voice actor. He can do some of that.
I'd be happy to do that. I did show Bodhi Avatar for the first time this past year, and he was not impressed at all. He was bored out of his mind. And this is a kid who likes to sit through longer movies. We actually revisited the Hunger Game franchise because we saw the trailer for the new Hunger Games coming out in November. And so he's like, "Oh, those look kind of cool." And I said, "Well, let's watch. You want? We'll start watching the whole franchise." So during winter break, we watched all 4 Hunger Game movies, back to back, and he loved them. So,
well, guys, that's
Avatar.
movies. That's movies. I got to talk to you guys a little bit about games, and I get a little self-conscious because Josh is our game expert. He and Derek Cranevelt over on Dynamic Resolutions here on the Geekscape network. But I got to tell you, the games I've been playing. First off, that Phoenix Olympus Rising game that they made cheap on the Switch too. I bought that because somebody was like, "It's Breath of the Wild, but better," and I was like, "You're lying." First off,
better?
Yeah, you're lying. It's a little Timo-y Breath of the Wild, not a slight, but in playing it and I'm enjoying it, it does make me go, "Yeah, I need to finish Tears of the Kingdom finally. I need to stop having villagers yell at me to defeat the Demon King and just get the job done." Because I've been, I had a kid, but I have not finished Tears of the Kingdom. I'm at the point where they want me to go face the ending, and I refuse to. Also, Donkey Kong Bonanza. You were saying that Avatar 3 felt like Avatar 2.5. I'm gonna go back to my original stuff. I love Donkey Kong Bonanza. It was listed as one of the top 25 Nintendo games of all time. I'm going to tell you right now, it feels still like Mario Odyssey, one of my favorite games of all time. It feels like Mario Odyssey DLC. You still go to a new planet or a new world, and you get outfits that'll help you only on that world. And it has a lot of the same goals and collection quests that Mario Galaxy did. And I like destroying stuff. It's fun, but
the music's trash.
I'm not Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah, the music on it's trash because Bodhi plays it all the time. And I'm like, this music sucks.
You know what? Listen, I'm sorry it's not a freaking guitar synth. All right, 80s guy. I'm sorry it's not freaking. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's bad.
All right,
dude.
pal. But listen, okay, next time we'll just throw in a Moog synthesizer, you'll be happy. All right.
The only thing I need to hear in the game is every time they go, "Oh, banana." That killed me for the longest time.
Totally.
Gabby Gibson was saying "Ooh, banana." Zach would be all over it.
I would be.
So I was like, I need something new, and I found a roguelike on my cell phone because it had a tie-in with Ninja Turtles. I've only been playing it for 2 days. I can't guarantee I'm going to continue playing it, but you're a gamer, Josh. Do you know about one of the hottest games around? It's called Capybara Go.
No,
you know about the
never seen this before in my life.
Oh man,
not at all.
Oh man, you got to know about the Capybara Go because the other game that I was playing was Clash Royale because I like Brawl Stars and all that stuff, but I was like, I need something else. And they had a Ninja Turtles tie-in, so I was a sucker for it. It had 1 day left on the tie-in when I downloaded it, so I didn't get to partake in it. But Capybara Go is a roguelike on your phone where you're a capybara and you can level up different stuff as you progress your days and you get defeated. Obviously, it's a roguelike. You get reset with some new stuff that you can spend to increase your your weapons, and you can get a mount, you can get little pet friends that'll battle for you, and it's just a cute roguelike side scroller. Derek's downloading it right now. And you're playing as a capybara in a fantasy world with fantasy characters, and you're fighting things like sea monsters and centaurs and Medusa creatures and all these things. And that's the hot gaming that I'm doing now is Capybara Go. So I'm going to hand it over to Josh for a little bit more expertise.
No, like, I don't know. We talked about this before, like, on our own.
He says you had me at Capybara.
You had me at Capybara.
So
you kind of had me at Capybara too. I was like,
we're all going to be playing Capybara Go at San Diego Comic-Con this year.
Oh yeah, that's the game. Yeah, but no, I still need to finish Donkey Kong. But I'm like, yeah, like to me, we talked about this a little bit like on our own. But I was like, yeah, to me, it's like it feels different enough from or Odyssey to me because of how you can kind of play the game how you want. So to the point where I even hesitate even calling it a platformer, because you can make so much progress in that game without ever taking on the platform challenges. So it's like, if you want to dig, you can do that. If you want to do the platforming stuff, you can do that. If you want to like help side characters and get rewarded with more bananas to progress, you could do it that way. And like, that's a thing that I've found refreshing about Nintendo's games in general lately. I mean, Odyssey had that quality too, but then you have like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, and then now Donkey Kong, where like so many of the games are just like a sandbox in every sense of the word, where you can just kind of take on the game and play it the way that you want. And they give you all these different ways to approach it, so that you don't have to, you're not stuck in like one particular way to play through it in advance. But Josh, yeah.
And you've been playing the Metroid Prime 4. And
I haven't actually, because Best Buy's still screwing me on that, so I haven't played it yet.
I've been reading the mixed reviews about Metroid Prime 4, and some of it's story based, some of it's like long hallways and stuff like that. And I enjoyed the Metroid Prime games fine, but it's not enough to get me to buy it. Like, what is the game that is going to be the Switch 2 seller? I don't think it was Donkey Kong Bonanza. I don't think it is Metroid Prime 4. Will it require Link to show up or Mario to show up? What will be the Metroid Prime? What will be the Switch 2 seller? Because I had friends over Christmas and they were like, oh, you have a Switch 2 and this and that. And I said, yeah, but don't get it for your kids yet if you have a Switch, because there's really not that, Mario Kart World is fine. It's great. I actually enjoy it, but I miss the old tracks and I miss some of the stuff that was on Mario Kart 8, because I had it all buffed up and I could play as my Wii's or my Mii's and this and that. But like, what is going to be the system seller looking down the road for the Switch 2? Not that it hasn't sold, but like, is there that game? Does that make sense? Is there that Breath of the Wild? Is there that must game?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know what you mean. The tough thing with Nintendo, though, to answer a question like that, is like they usually keep their release schedule pretty close to their chest, and outside of a situation like Tears of the Kingdom, where it was delayed 1,000 times. Like, usually we don't find out about Nintendo's new games until they're only like 4 months away.
Right.
So as of right now, there's like nothing on the horizon that we're aware of. Like, they've mostly been releasing like Switch 2 updates to old Switch 1 games, which have had mixed results. I keep hearing that the Kirby Forgotten Lands Switch 2 version is like phenomenal and better than the main game. And then the other side of that is like the Mario Party Switch 2 update. People are saying it's a waste of money.
And they have a new president. Nintendo has this new female president. I'm super excited to see what she has. But it's like, and this is the game I'm looking forward to in 2026. Not that it's coming out in 2026, it's promised, but is this like a system that like GTA 6 could release on? Because Nintendo hasn't had a GTA game since Chinatown Wars on the DS, which I loved, of course. But like, could we see something like that move people from Sony and Xbox to a Nintendo system?
Well, I think people have already moved on from Xbox altogether. So like, I don't even remember the name of the system, but some console that I never heard of that was like basically a built-in Kinect outsold the Xbox for the holiday season. I don't know if either of you read that.
No.
But it's like a small motion controlled camera console that's all digital, and you have to download games for it. Like, and it's marketed towards small kids, and that outsold the Xbox. So,
oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, but But as far as GTA 6 on Switch 2, I don't think so. If anything, we'd be lucky to get GTA 5 enhanced or something, have it 15th anniversary edition on Switch 2.
I'll take
or
it. It's
something
been
at
so
this point.
long. I played GTA 5 on the PS3 and was like, trust me, it'll come out. 6 will come out. 6 will come out. 6 will come out. I'm growing moss.
Yeah,
You
no,
know.
this year's the year, supposedly. We'll see
Yeah.
if that ends up being the case. But yeah, I think like the next big Mario or Zelda will definitely be the system seller. I mean, Pokemon ZA sold 1 billion copies, and I mean that game, I liked it well enough, but it wasn't really the greatest. But it's like I feel like the next mainline Pokemon game, which is probably the closest one to release realistically, because that game's pretty much on a annual release schedule at this point. And then Zelda and Mario for sure. But I feel like since the Mario team made Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
we're a ways off from Mario. And then since Tears of the Kingdom is only, well, it's like 3 years old now. So I would say at least 2 years minimum for the next Zelda. So we might be a ways off.
And we'll probably get a new style too. We'll probably get some reinvention of the look. Unless they want to continue with some version of Tears of the Kingdom, but from what I know, the ending, like it's kind of a nice bow on it. As far as that branch of the Zelda timeline goes, and I am somebody who subscribes to all the branching in the Zelda timeline and all
They're
that.
working on the movie. The movie's coming out in a couple years.
And what we've seen of it looks good, right, guys?
Yeah,
Like I saw that screenshot and I was like, "Yeah, they did it."
I'm cool
I
with
like
that.
the Maze
Yeah,
Runner
the
guy.
casting
I
looks
like
great
that
so
Maze.
far.
I like the Maze Runner kid, and I think the same thing is, and let's talk about what we're looking forward to in 2026. I think that I got to tell you, the Mortal Kombat movie and the Street Fighter movie fully embracing the look of their video game roots, whether or not that's for comedy or cheesiness or anything, I think is endearing.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. And next to Mario Galaxy, which of course I'm looking forward to as a huge Mario fan, I'm not a fighting game fan. I'm definitely not a fighter, but I will
You're a
see the
lover.
I will see the Mortal Kombat movie and the Street Fighter movie because they're unapologetic about their like origins, and they seem to be celebrating it finally instead of trying to Hollywoodize it
Right.
and to the abandonment of their fan base. What did you guys think is the stuff that you're looking forward to in 2026? And we can start with film.
You mentioned, or I mentioned from the onset, the Stranger Things reboots, or the not reboots, but the cartoon coming out. It's very promising. The Street Fighter. Look, if it's a smidge close to the Street Fighter scene in Jackie Chan's City Hunter, I'm all for it because that was one of the best action sequences, spoofy action sequences of all time, in my opinion. Kung Fu movies. I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I never have been. I always think it's a little bit like overrated, but I'm totally open to this one, even though, you know, the lead actor is older than me and I'm pretty old as it is. And I'm like, that's interesting casting choice for a quote unquote young guy. I love Carl Urban though. You know, if you guys have never seen Dread, that movie's underrated. Perfect. It's perfect. It's
Dread
a perfect film.
A perfect
Dread's great.
Dread movie.
Yeah. So Carl Urban can do no wrong.
And guys, it's Alex Garland wrote that script, and he had 2 other scripts he had ideas for the next 2 movies to make it a trilogy, and we were going to see the Death Judges and stuff, and like they were going to straight up do Judge Dredd proper for 3 movies, and it never happened.
Yeah, it's such a bummer.
And I blame you, Geekscapists, because we told you enthusiastically. I want to know if you saw it in theaters or not. If not, I blame you.
No, that's on me. I got it on Redbox.
Oh,
damn!
How dare you?
He went and got a Yoo-hoo from 7-Eleven.
I saw it opening day, yo.
Hell yes! I was so excited for it.
Lined up to see that movie. I don't line up for movies anymore.
Yeah,
well, actually, I do. So
I was wearing my Amanda Sante cosplay from the Sylvester Stallone version.
Not Jürgen Prochnow. Deep cut. Anyways, yeah, no, I love look. I feel like this year is all about surprises, pleasant surprises, and I'm totally open to. I think that's a good attitude to have, optimistically. So let's see what happens. Let's see if these movies are any good. I was not expecting much from that Mario movie when it came out, and it blew me away when it did. And so that the sequel coming out, I've got high expectations. I'm trying to lower them because typically know how animated sequels go. Except for Cars 2. No, I'm kidding. That was trash. But we'll see. Like, and I'm also excited to go to LA Comic-Con again, San Diego Comic-Con, and that is on the horizon, hopefully, to doing some fun panels, because I think the year ended with a bang, 2025, as far as pop culture is concerned, and I want to keep that momentum going into 2026.
Yeah, we have Pasadena Comic Con coming up in 2 weeks. As I said at the top of the show, I got a new full-time gig that is a lot of producing, writing, directing, and I don't know what latitude I'll have to do Geekscapes. I'm going to do them. Hi, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, Geekscape, or whatever it is. But I'm going to do the Geekscapes. I just don't know convention-wise like what I'm going to be able to do. Obviously, San Diego's a thing. I finished all the Super Action Man stuff is all getting drawn. That comic, I told the artist, like, we have to have it at San Diego Comic-Con. I'd ideally want it printed and ready to send to people July 4th, because it's 250th anniversary of our country. Love it or hate it.
Yeah.
But I want a Super Action Man book that makes fun of it, at least, to be out. Here the Prophecy 3 is written, getting in the, that's going to be in the drawing stages soon. Like, we have a lot of stuff Geekscape wise that we're excited about. I just, we'll figure out how much time I have to do it on a consistent basis, but the conventions, we'll be there, baby.
Yeah, boy.
Boy. As far as movies go, and I'm going to look like the biggest homeboy for this and just like company dweeb, but I'm looking at the comic stuff. I don't have the fatigue, man. That whole idea of the fatigue, like, bring me Wonder Man right now. And say what you will about Disney's like approach to the Disney Plus stuff, because I'm somebody who does want She-Hulk in Avengers Doomsday. I do want to see Werewolf by Night come back. I do want to see them figure out a way to give us more Moon Knight, or figure out Jeremy Renner's contract, guys. You can't offer him half. I want to see the continuation of these characters that were advanced on Disney Plus. I want to see Matt Murdock and the street level crew show up in some ways that they did in something like Spider-Man No Way Home. You had a Matt Murdock scene. Can we see that in something like Spider-Man Brand New Day, or somewhere, because I loved those pop when you see that scene.
Yeah.
And now it's all family, guys. Like, let's have these characters, especially the ones that you guys put on Disney Plus. Like, I want to see Agatha and, in Loki, of course. Like, what do they think of this idea that Doom is going to collapse all the realities into one for Secret War, or whatever he's going to do in Doomsday, which obviously looks reality hopping, because we're going to have the Fantastic Four and the X-Men involved. So what do these Disney Plus characters think of this stuff? And I want to see them involved. I want to see, obviously, I'm not a hater on the She-Hulk. I'm not a hater on any stuff. And looking at Wonder Man, I'm like, let's go. Let's have Wonder Man in there somewhere, because he is a badass. That being said, Spider-Man Brand New Day, Avengers Doomsday, I've always been in. Those can't miss. And Supergirl. I reread Supergirl, the book, A Woman of Tomorrow. I think it's got some real creative stuff in there. I can see how they're going to reformat it a bit for the film. I see arguably how they're going to use Lobo to sort of, where they're going to fit him maybe, but I've been wrong, and I'm excited to be wrong, because I'm excited to be surprised, and I'm wrong a lot. So I love it. Life. And so I'm going to go ahead and say no superhero fatigue over here, or I wouldn't be running Geekscape. And bring on the soups, man. Bring on stuff from DC and Marvel and put them on the big screen. And I'm excited about all that stuff. Derek's looking forward to Primate. Only
my
theaters,
God,
baby.
I was going to have that. Yeah, I was going to have that on my list of things I'm looking forward to, except it was the mystery movie last night. So we saw it, and it was, I loved it. It was like,
oh, good.
Is it a horror movie about a chimpanzee, Josh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So it's basically about a family who has a chimpanzee in their family, and then it starts killing everybody in the house. That's the basis. And it's
That's not a horror movie. That's something that happens because people are fucking stupid.
I thought it was a remake of Link with Elizabeth Shue. If y'all have never seen that,
I would send the monkey into space with Matthew Broderick. I would do.
Yeah.
It's a great ape, by the way.
That's
not
an
a
idea.
monkey.
That's a sequel idea. Just
Yeah.
start sending killer chimpanzees into space with the astronauts and see what
The
happens.
thing is, they go through a time warp, or they get hit by gamma radiation, and they come back, and now they're irradiated and superior, or they're several centuries advanced, or they've run afoul of some alien technology that advances them, and they become our rulers. Josh, let's not send anything into space that is sentient
this whole
at all.
that's the twist.
Elon
This whole
Musk
movie
is
is
safe
just a
to go.
prequel. Yeah, now this whole movie is just a prequel to Planet of the Apes. That's the
Yeah.
you liked
the
it though.
twist.
You liked it as a horror
no.
movie. This primate movie.
It was an extremely cliche by the numbers horror movie, but the best version of a cliche like horror movie you could get. It felt so like, not to wrap back around like that Stranger Things stuff, but it felt so 80s in like the effects and the way that it's shot and the way that they build suspense. Like I was already looking forward to it, and it actually beat my expectations. I really liked this movie.
Oh.
So there's the sense of camp with it. Is that safe to say without being insulting to the creators?
No, for sure. I mean, you could tell they were going for it, but not in a way that's like winking at the camera.
I hate that.
Like,
so you can't wink at the camera. It's insincere. Don't talk down to the genre, baby. Just make that movie.
But yeah, no, but that was on my list until it luckily ended up being the mystery movie yesterday. But
I wanted to echo some of the things you were saying, John, about the superhero movies. Like Superman blew me away last year, and I'm really looking forward to Supergirl.
No notes on Fantastic Four. I have no notes on Fantastic Four. Loved that movie.
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I really like that one too.
And Thunderbolts. People forget Thunderbolts, and I had tons of notes of obviously on the Sam Wilson Captain America movie, but none of that was because Sam Wilson was Captain America. A lot of it was because the rewrites, the movement, it felt like studio stuff. But there was a good movie in there somewhere, and it just sometimes the bread doesn't rise, and I will always enjoy seeing those characters on screen, even if it's a movie where the bread doesn't rise. I'm like, dude, what am I complaining about? I just saw, Sam Wilson Captain America fight a Red Hulk. This is cool. I don't care. This is cool. Like, hey, look, there's a zombie version of the leader. Okay,
right. And there's no clearer sign of a rewrite than McDonald's having a whole set of Captain America toys where half the characters got cut from the movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
But did either of you see the new Doomsday teaser? I think that came out this morning.
The X-Men one.
Yeah, the X-Men one. Yeah,
that
of course.
That had me wanting to run through a wall.
I was like, okay, here we go. Like, I'm fully on board. But like, to your point about the Disney Plus characters too, I was going to say, I'm just dying for whatever they're going to call them, Young Avengers, Champions, whatever, to show up at some point too, because that's been built up for so long and has not been mentioned since the end of the Marvels. So I'm like, let's get some movement on something.
Let's the seeds have been planted on the Disney Plus. I think it's a smart investment. I love most of those Disney Plus series a lot, and I like the characters. I think the casting on most of them have been awesome. I want to see them on the big screen. And remember when we had those two back-to-back Avengers movies with Infinity War and Endgame, there were characters like Hawkeye who weren't a part of Infinity War but showed up in Endgame. I think that something like a Secret War is a great place to bring a handful of characters that we don't see in Doomsday to be like, hey, Doomsday, I'm guessing, ends on a downer, the same way Infinity War does. I don't think Doom loses at the end of Doomsday. I'm pretty sure it turns into a Battle World situation like in the Jonathan Hickman 2015 Secret War series, which is awesome. And it's a great way that's a great building block for a Secret War version on screen. And so I see that. I see that maybe we're going to get at least versions of these characters, even if they're reiterated in a Battle World Secret War style. I see them all kind of, at least some of them showing up. And maybe the street level ones that are gaining popularity in the new Daredevil series. And maybe, we'll see what the Punisher movie is, how we get like a Punisher special of the week kind of whatever. You remember Werewolf by Night had like its own special intro. It's like the Marvel movie of the special or something like that. Do you remember that, guys?
Yeah, that was cool.
Punisher's getting that same one-off movie on Disney Plus treatment as well. So I'm excited for that. We'll see when we have somebody like Mephisto return. That was a super awesome surprise to a very satisfying and surprisingly cool I only say surprisingly because it went away from the tech towards magic, but Ironheart I thought was one where I was like, I thought the character felt shoehorned in Wakanda Forever. Totally dug the character in her own series and was blown away by the fact that it started out as a Iron Man spinoff character that turned into its own. Let's deal with some magic stuff, magic corner of the Marvel Universe stuff. And I was like, okay, this is great, cool stuff. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to in 2026. You know, the memories and the geek stuff. You know, anything else you guys would shake out if you took the calendar for 2026 and saw what else might be falling out of the pop culture promisings?
New Star Wars movie I'm open to, the Mandalorian one. I mean, you know, I'll go see it in the theater when it comes out.
Hell
Look,
yes.
I got a young kid, so he likes to go to the movies. I like to go to the movies.
You don't need an excuse, man. Like, I enjoy the Mandalorian stuff. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm down to see it on the big screen. And you know, Stranger Things finale proved to me that you can show something that's made for the TV, make it enjoyable on the big screen as well. So
it's a really cinematic finale, and
that finale was
really cinematic. That show's always been really cinematic. Yeah,
I told my son, I'm like, there's nothing that's going to compare to this ever again, Bodhi. Like the fact that you got to see this in the theater. And by the way, that movie like made $25 million in 2 days, and it all went to the theaters because the tickets were free. You got like food vouchers, AMC, like I guess it's some deal with Netflix couldn't pay. It's a royalties thing. So they had to make it free, but you paid $10 per or $20 in food vouchers. So we got $60 worth of food for the movie screening.
Run it back, Zach. How did this work? It was so you didn't pay. You had to like sign up online for Stranger Things theatrical tickets, but they're free.
You bought them like you would normally buy tickets. It was $20 a ticket, but when you get the ticket, it's actually a voucher for food. It's at the theater, and the screening itself is technically free.
Oh, because some of the contracts did not include theatrical.
Right.
And oh wow, I'm not the lawyer, don't know how some of that stuff shakes out, but I do love that 25 million got put towards the infrastructure of our theatrical model here in the States.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, dude, that is really cool, man. And I hope that model as streaming persists and as we have some kind of consolidation possibly of our studio system with whatever's happening with Warner Brothers, I hope that kind of thing exists and continues, because that is super cool. And I think theaters have to be creative, and I think obviously studios have to be creative about how they take these unique pieces of films, TV, whatever offerings they have. Concert films have become really popular, and sing-alongs. And how do you take these unique experiences and you give them, you know, how do you make the unique experiences out of these unique offerings rather than trying to shoehorn everything into an assembly line for, you know, the cinemas? It's hard. It's tough, but I think it's what they got to do to survive. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, I remember we were there on that. We didn't see Stranger Things, and listening to you guys talk about it now, I kind of wish we were. But the concession stand line was like halfway out the theater, and the gap between the theater and the concession stand and the door to the theater is a pretty big gap, just to give you an idea of how massive the concession line was for that. So yeah, that makes sense about the voucher program they did.
Yeah, I still have $4 left over.
Dude, it's a genius idea. It's a really genius idea. And with things like Demon Hunter, you know, K-pop Demon Hunter and stuff like that,
Oh yeah,
I think it's super smart to be bringing those things theatrical and offering them in a unique way. Geekscapists, don't know when you're going to get your next Geekscape. I'm going to try and do it next week. Within 2 weeks, we'll see. But loved talking to you guys about this stuff.
Same.
I do want to get my friend Jay. Yeah, I want to get my friend J.M. Branton here to talk about the Horror Not Hate anthology that he has up on Kickstarter right now. Again, folks, that is at bit.ly.com/horror not hate. I do want you guys to at least check that out so that you know, JM can get some love for it. It's a good cause, and I want to see that comic succeed because a lot of our friends are in it. And guys, you can find Zach where?
$2 late fee. That's the best place. And from there, shoot you off to Territory Marks and 80s Kids Unite and Podcasting After Dark. Those are all 4 podcasts that I do. Wow.
It's too much.
$2latefee.com. Just go there.
Josh, where you been hanging your hat, brother?
You can find me on the Dynamic Resolution Video Game Podcast. We also have our Four Ropes Wrestling podcast that we've been doing very sporadically as time permits, but we're hoping to do that more in the new year.
Is that a Geekscape show?
Oh yeah, well you wouldn't know because we've done like 6 episodes in a year, but
Holy
yeah,
shit.
but it is.
No idea. We have some new shows
but-
coming out through Geekscape that I'll have some of the hosts on to talk about that Matt has been working on that I'm super excited about. But holy shit, there's another wrestling show on the network. I'm all for it, but oops.
Yeah, right. It's
Absentee landlord.
surprise.
Yeah.
But and then outside of that, just on social media and streaming platforms at Inu Joshua.
Okay. Well, Geekscapists, you know where to find us because you just did. We're at Geekscape, and what I'd love for you to do right now is hit the share button, share it with your friends. If you leave reviews on whatever podcatcher you're using to watch the show, go ahead and give us a 5-star review if you enjoyed the conversation, which I'm guessing because you just listened to an hour and 10 minutes of it. If you're on Spotify, definitely share and subscribe. I cannot promote these other two guys enough. I'm super excited to have them on the network. I'm excited to have you watching the show and being a part of this because we have a fun 2026 in front of us. You can find me. Just look for Jonathan London, look for Geekscape. You'll get to my socials sooner or later. But really, you're already at the flagship show. That's what I want you to celebrate and enjoy. And from there, everything else is discoverable because it's the Geekscape network. Enjoy, folks. Don't hate. Go and create something. And we'll see you guys next time. All right. Peace.
Bye.